In today's ASMR Ramble video, I'm going to showcase, I'm not going to mispronounce it like I do a lot of things, the Sasuraibito Tarot. Sasuraibito. I've had this on my wish list for a very long time, and there's a misprint version, which is the one I got, where it's really just, there was two printings of the same card. So she's actually sent you the replacement card, but it means the deck is basically only as much as like a mass market deck, even cheaper than some mass market decks for really beautiful indie deck. So I went ahead and ordered it, and I'm glad I did. I held on to it for a day or two. Sometimes I do that because I know hard days will come and it will be nice to have something like that to open. And so that's, things came today. I mean, how I felt today or this evening, or really the past couple days. So this video I might be a little more teary than usual, but it's a ramble video, right? So I'll try to keep it as much as possible focused on the cards, though obviously I'll probably try to do a 3-card pull at the end, and a lot of times, you know, whatever's on your mind is oftentimes what comes out, right? So I ordered the deck. I also, to get free shipping, ordered a couple of her stickers. So I love mushrooms, so when I saw she had different ones, like these are bullet cats. And I thought this was cute. And then she sent me a fruit one. And then I love her business card as well. I like to keep these kind of things, have a box with them. I use them sometimes in creative projects, or like my current journal that I use. I Mod Podged 2 cards that were like extras that were sent with the deck that I had, and I really liked that. So I like to keep things like that, to either put stickers on them, or like I said, like this last one, I was really excited to do that Mod Podge. So what I'll do today, like I do on most of these ramble videos, is obviously I'm showcasing the box and the back of the card. This is actually the card that came with the extra card that, says it's a misprint, to change out the double 5 of cups with the 5 of wands. And then she says, you're proud owner of a collectible misprint deck. So I think this is actually the 7th printing of this deck, so it makes me think it's been around for quite some time, because it looks like the 7th printing was in 2020. I'm also, for whatever reason, comforted that this was the extra card because of how I feel right now. It just feels like, the right time then maybe to get the deck, the right time to, see my feelings reflected. So I've only done like one card pull, so I've barely shuffled these, so they will probably mostly end up being in order as I go through them. So let me just go through the ones, like in other ones, I might make comments as I see things, and then at the end do a 3-card pull. So we have the Hanged Man. We have Justice. Ooh, I like that with the dagger in the eye. This particularly feels resonant with me because part of what I'm actually up in the middle of the night, part of what's keeping me up is feelings around, there's the Page of Wands. This reminds me of Willow from Buffy, the Vampire Slayer. Part of what's keeping me up, there's a lot of injustice in the world, right? I don't think anyone thinks that years, and even as it's nearing a type of resolution, this is 8 of Wands, there's just still a feeling of 7 of Wands, that there's validation, but no justice, if that makes sense. 6 of Wands, it probably doesn't make sense since I give you literally no information about what I'm talking about. 2 of Wands, but I'm really in my feels right now. Ace of Wands feeling. I'm not someone who normally gets like here's the World and Judgment. I'm not someone who normally gets that sort of, you might know what I'm talking about, like that sort of feeling in your soul almost, that's like, almost feels like a darkness, right? Like 10 of Swords, it goes beyond anger or hate or helplessness or 9 of Swords, all the way to something more like a void, but not like a depressed void, 8 of Swords, but like a black hole gaping maw kind of void. 7 of Swords, where it almost feels like it could eat you up, or you could eat yourself up from the inside out. 6 of Swords. So I'm actually even just barely having looked at this deck. For whatever reason, it feels appropriate. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the colors or some of the way the images, even things like this, like the 5 of Wands, the fire. I mean, it's not like there's not fire with wands, right? But I don't know. Here's the 3 of Wands. Here's the Fool. It's actually what I picked, or what not what I picked, what I drew when I did my one card pull before this video, which feels appropriate right now, also in my life. But what's funny is this is also like, I've almost bought this deck probably for the last 2 years. For whatever reason, this card has always made me not want to buy it. I don't know, which feels unfair. It feels unfair to this old man. But one thing I really did like when I pulled this card, she made sure one of the keywords was madness. And I don't see that in a lot of people's description of Fool. I read that first. Ooh, that's a good Hermit card. I read that first in I think it's a Low Scarborough book. I have a 3-book set. It's Tarot Fundamentals, Tarot Experience, and I'm trying to remember the third. Strength. But I think that's where I first read that that's one interpretation of the Fool is like madness, the Chariot, but I don't ever really see that written in most decks. And I've looked for it ever since, I've kept my eye out for it ever since. So I do like that as much as that card, maybe that's why it pushed me away for so long, or I kept myself away. But I'm glad that was there. The Emperor. This seemed very self-assured, doesn't he? The High Priestess. The Magician. That's neat. He's doing so many different things, and doing the cups, and it's got a wand, and he's also juggling. Here's the 4 of Cups. I'm really glad I got this deck. 3 of Cups. I was laying in bed trying to sleep, and I finally just said, screw it, and got up and opened. Like I said, I'd sort of squirreled it away for a rainy day, so to speak. Ace of Cups. Always a fan of the Ace of Cups. One thing I was thinking though, or reminded of, was the King of Wands. That I was reminded of was how years. They've also been a financial problem, like tied up in a whole bunch of things that I don't talk about in here. Knight of Wands, but the sort of blessing in disguise of the dead goblin insanity, Knight of Pentacles, has been to be able to sort of really immerse myself. Page of Pentacles and a lot of these different worlds, and I feel like tarot and oracle cards give me that. You know, sometimes we can't. Ten of Pentacles, or not sometimes, a lot of times we can't escape the cages we're in, right? Not physically, right? And sometimes not even mentally, or even, but spiritually we might, creatively we might, imaginatively. And I feel like that's what tarot and oracle both reminds me of and to do, and also just encourages that, the Empress, and gives me a space to go into the sun and get lost, but lost in a way where you're found, which is when we get to the guidebook. Again, I feel like this duck is coming at the right time, because I believe she says Sasuraibito, if that's the right way to pronounce it. Yeah, she says it's a Japanese word, most closely translates to wanderer. It's an older literary term that's falling out of use, meant to describe a person ever seeking, searching for a place of healing and refuge. This deck is designed to accompany the curious, wandering queen. So I definitely feel like this deck is a perfect match, especially at the moment in my life, the moon. But getting back to my point, this is the star astronaut, which is that it's like an escape that's not an escape. And I'm not against escape. You know, people talk about like escapist movies or the tower that's made, you know, or books, but I don't really think I don't really believe in that as a thing, because I'm like, sometimes you need comfort, sometimes you need healing, sometimes you need a story, sometimes you need any variety of things. It's not escape, it's just a part of, you know, life. It's not like, escape would be something like running off and never coming back for no reason at all. Five of Cups, you know what I mean? Or being like a deadbeat dad or something. That's escape. You know what I mean? That's divorcing yourself from responsibilities and life. But, you know, books, movies, cards, they're not. And I feel like, though, especially for Pentacles, what's cool about tarot and oracle cards is they're like, at least for me, they're an escape that's not at all an escape. You know what I mean? Like, they allow you to escape the prisons that you're making around yourself while helping you, like, you know, reframe things. Maybe you're staying in that prison, you know, like maybe your mind is always in that prison, King of Swords, but, you know, then they help you to decorate that prison or to think of it in a different way. Queen of Swords, change your perspective. I feel like for me, they open up, and I hope this is the way for a lot of people, the Knight of Swords. I feel like they really open up, what was I thinking? Oh, rooms in the mind. So again, like, sometimes we can feel stuck even physically, like, you know, I have a lot of feelings right now, and again, like I said, I'm not used to having that sort of black hole soul energy. That's really, I don't get that often. I mean, like, I could probably count on my hands the number, I mean, I've been angry, right? But the number of times in the past few years I felt that would be on like one hand, if even that much. Queen of Pentacles. So, you know, it really would be nice to be able to scream really loud or to throw something through a window. You know, Queen of Cups. Something that really releases a lot of energy. Knight of Cups. But one thing I like about Oracle and Tarot cards, they don't necessarily allow you to scream, but they allow you to breathe. Page of Cups. Because they open like this psychic room or this imaginative room, suddenly your own physical space doesn't feel like as oppressive. Ten of Cups, as it sort of does on its own, if that makes sense. Nine of Cups. And my guess is that's true for a lot of people, especially, here's the Eight of Cups, especially for people who maybe are overwhelmed by their world. You know what I mean? Take in a lot of energy, have lots of emotions, a lot of intensity, because there just isn't enough space. Five of Swords. You know, that's why we write, that's why we create, that's why any variety of things. Four of Swords. And I haven't been able to journal as much lately. Not haven't been able, but like, it just, I don't know why. There's only been a few times in my life where I've sort of, or since I started journaling, like almost 20 years ago, like where I've just sort of almost had like, it's not even a dead period, because when I go back and look, I'll be like, oh, I wrote like 5 days ago. I love this Three of Swords. Like, love it. But it's not even like, I mean, like only maybe a couple days past. I think it's that I've had having so many thoughts, so many emotions, that it feels like I'm not writing, even when I'm not, even when it's not like there's big blank spaces. Like there was in April, I think. And maybe I'm not writing as much as I usually do. But it's not like I'm not writing at all. But the point of that was like, that's another place where you can sort of like let things out. Two of Swords. Another sort of room, that place where sort of a psychic room to open. Here's the Ace of Swords and the King of Cups. So those are all the cards. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna shuffle and cut the deck, and then also when I pick cards in here, I'll put it back here so you can, that extra card, so you have something to look at while I shuffle. I'm gonna shuffle, cut the deck, and then but still pull from like different parts of the deck, since I know it won't be really well shuffled. One, I don't want to make tons of noise. Two, I haven't used enough for it to be shuffled well. So, two, three, 4, 5. And these days I cut it like 5 times for 2025 when I can remember to do that. So now let me pick 3. So I'm picking 1. So let's take this one out now, since it doesn't really count. So here's 1. Then I'll take 1 from the middle. And then I'm going to take, not from the end, but from near the end. Or maybe I will take from the end. No, I'll take from the middle. Maybe I'll take from both. I'll pull the end one out in case we need like a tiebreaker. God, kind of the way some people do, or I've done before, where like everyone jumps out. You know, like let's say you're doing the Celtic cross and one jumps out, instead of including that into the main spread, having that sort of off to the side. So this is a 3-card spread. Let's see. She has some suggestions. Obviously, you know, people always talk about the past, present, future. She also says current situation, obstacle, advice, and where you stand now, what you aspire to, and how to get there. I'd say probably the last two is more sort of what I'm looking at, but I'm kind of open to whatever kind of shows up. So we have the 2 of Cups. And I'm not real good with tarot. Well, I don't know if I'm good with any of them, like at reading on my own. But I'm going to spend some time first with the images. So we got the 6 of Pentacles. And then I'll do the reading from the book. And just kind of talk about my own stuff. Kind of cool. I'm actually really curious what that 4th card is. Let's just be wild and throw that in. The 3 of Cups. All right. So yeah, so one thing that I see just looking at it is that the 2 of Cups and the 6 of Pentacles both have 2 people. Here holding hands. Here it looks like reaching for one another. And even that 3 of Cups, you know, there's 3 people and they're hugging. So there's a lot of connection here that feels almost like disconnection, the way there's the line connecting the 2 people, but here it's almost like it almost looks broken from the astronaut, like he almost seems to drift. So then there's almost like a movement from sort of holding it together to, I mean, I guess you could also see that as a line separating to like a broken, you know, all alternatively holding it together, and then, you know, sort of physically holding it together, maybe verbally with a friend, then maybe being able to stand on your own. I mean, this thing could be positive or negative, being able to sort of, maybe it's a line that's cut, or maybe it's an astronaut. I mean, that's like a, you know, that's an achievement, right? So like, maybe it's more like that, like, oh, then you have the strength and ability and all those things to achieve your goals. And the 3 of Cups, I just say there's a lot of love and care in this card. So maybe with that idea kind of being the connector, maybe not seeing this as a disconnection, but instead, you know, out among the stars, and maybe it looks like you're not connected to that life support, but you actually are, you know, and almost if you read it backwards, you'd see that. So maybe that's a good way to look at it. So let's see, let's go ahead and read the cards. So 2 of Cups. 2 of Cups, where are you? It's a nice, for those of you who are, I think her name's Waves of Her Soul, which is actually one of my favorite tarot YouTube channels. She calls herself, I think, a deck goblin. I really like that terminology. I'm also a guidebook goblin, and even though this one's small, it seems packed with description, so I'm a fan. So 2 of Cups, attraction, bonding, teamwork, collaboration. This card is full of positive feelings and happiness. The illustration here is of 2 people enacting a pinky swear promise, sealing a pact. The lotuses are a symbol of peace and connection. The 2 of Cups in the minor arcana equivalent to the Lovers, and therefore suggests strong sexual and affectionate energy. This card can indicate the beginning of a relationship or a truce. Work together, join forces, and find the sum becoming more than its parts. Reversed can be an imbalanced relationship or a breakup. And then we have the Six of Pentacles. It says giving, receiving, have not, dom, submitting. An exchange of some kind takes place on this card. It appears that some substance is passed from one individual's mouth to the others. You will either receive or give something of great value. The black line symbolizes this gift: money, knowledge, assistance, power. At first glance, it appears that the person on top is the giver and the person below the receiver. But is this really the case? Teachers learn from students. This card is an invitation to question our assumptions about the appearance of balance. There's a subtle interplay between the giver and the taker. Who are you in this equation? Be generous with and open to receiving great gifts of wisdom, time, and energy. Reversed, a role as a giver or taker is too imbalanced. The danger is in giving so much that you're prone to being taken advantage of or in taking more than your share. Getting into debt or becoming a burden. In a relationship, this could mean one partner is doing a lopsided amount of work. And then the third card is the Star. And let me find it. The astronomer, the navigator, the explorer. The star is full of hope, joy, lightheartedness, and free-flowing love. It's optimistic, trusting, excited, and inspired. The explorer is open-minded, serene, and generous. As the card directly after the Tower, the star represents the calm after the storm. Reversed, feeling lost, a promise or hope may be false. And then there's a quote: "What would you ask for if you knew the answer was yes?" And then let's go ahead and read that Three of Cups again. Not again. In addition, even though it's kind of like an extra card, I'll put it out here so you can see it. Three of Cups, friendship, community, celebration. This is the friendship card, representing all the awesome positive energy that comes from being part of a group. This could be a close-knit group of friends or a larger community, but the positive feelings are the same: feeling like you belong, feeling loved, secure, supported, and cherished. The Three of Cups represents trust, being a good neighbor, and the two-way street and taking care of one another. Reversed, conflict within the group, feelings of isolation or mistrust. I'm really glad I also pulled that one from the bottom, because I feel like, at least for me, I don't know about for y'all, for your own readings of these three, which, as always, I'd love to hear your own interpretations of what you see for yourself. But for me, it really does sort of solidify what I was starting to see as I was reading, which was a little different from what I saw before I started reading, which is it reminded me of a friend, like a particular friend, and we're getting, we enjoy each other's company, but we're also, I don't know if our friendship's new, but it's one of my newer friendships, and I think we do share a lot of back and forth. We both are in places in our life now that have a lot of pain and are definitely post-Tower moments, and I don't think either one of us have sort of gotten to the Star part, but it just feels very positive for me. It reminds me to be thankful for our friendship, and also I think reminds me both her friendship and trying to make connections with other people, like they said, community, things like that, is so important. I think we're getting to that star movement after the tower, because even close relationships, and this is true with friendships, romantic relationships, family, can be a source of strength and they can be a source of weakness. And I don't mean like weak, I guess what am I looking for? They can be a source of strength or they can sap your strength. And it just, depends on a lot of factors. But one thing that I think can help to mitigate that is to have many strong relationships, especially friendships. Friendships, I think, often get the shaft, in our sort of hierarchy of relationships. We think of partners and family. I think a lot of that's changing over time these days. But I think friendship is very important. And so, actually, in the end, I really see this as a very positive reminder of the power of friendship, and specifically in my life right now, of giving and embracing the particular friendship I'm talking about, but also just my friendships in general, seeking out community, even making these videos, in a lot of ways I'm just sort of talking out to the void, right? But to me that's helpful. It's still putting something out there. Maybe it means something to one single person, 1 second, one video, one time. Doesn't really matter. If it's that one time, that was a connection. So just looking for different ways to connect to other humans, and feeling the strength from that. And hopefully, over time, that strength and that give and take and that building each other up can lead to that star moment and those star moments. And that, because, I'd like to have faith. I think I do that will come, but sometimes, like tonight, it really didn't feel like it. When I came into this reading, I thought I was gonna sort of see something dark in it reflected back at me. So I'm actually really glad what I see here instead is something uplifting, but also not like pie in the sky. It's not like you are gonna make it to the star. It's like, this is the bedrock of what takes you there and gives you, shoot for the moon or shoot for the star. What is it? Shoot for the moon, you might land among the stars, whatever. That allows you to build yourself up, build each other up. Because life's hard, right? That's the thing that's always like, I don't know about you guys, but it's like, it's a constant relearning. Like something really horrible happens. You're like, God, jeez. Damn it. And then like life can get a little, but it just, I don't know about you. For me, it feels like there's I don't know. I think there's been very few times in my life where I really felt like, sort of free of turmoil of one form or another, whether self-inflicted or from outside. There have been times though. But hopefully, like I said, friendship is such a wonderful thing. And I feel blessed with my new friend. I feel blessed that I have friends I've had for decades. I'm blessed that I have other people. And, and I say other people meaning like family and my partner. But like I said, I feel like friendships are special in a different way. In a special way, I don't know that we always give credit to. So those are my rambly thoughts with the Sasuraibito. I'm really sorry I'm butchering that. Sasuraibito Tarot. I'd say if you see what you like here, don't hesitate. I'll put the link in the description because, like I said, since this is a misprint deck, she's selling it very cheaply, but it's not a cheap deck. You know what I mean? Like, it's a nice deck. So I found this very helpful. I'm glad, even though it's the butt ass middle of the night, that I just got out of bed instead of just laying there just torturing myself. I got up, cried, and then started this video. Sorry, makes me laugh. I don't know why. So I'm really glad I did this reading. Hopefully you've got something out of it too, like I said, and I hope to see you again soon in other videos.